Hello, my name is Marcin Kubacki. We are going to have today's webinar around the Ansible. Let's wait for a moment for everyone to join, and we're going to start. Okay, I guess we can start. Our today's session is around automation. So we are going to cover Ansible basics. Here in our studio, I have Jacek Skórzyński from Red Hat.
Hello, everyone.
Senior Solution Architect. So please present yourself.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Jacek Skórzyński, and I'm a solution architect at Red Hat, mainly focused on Ansible stuff. So that's why I'm here today. We're going to do today some quick intro to Ansible with
Installation
yes.
Mostly so the boring stuff,
Yeah.
but anything that it is always good to have some basics how to start with Ansible.
So a little bit more about me. I'm a bike rider enthusiast and a volleyball player, and still former. But I hope I will come back to this soon. So
which helps you a lot with Ansible.
Yeah. That's it about me, Marcin.
I'm Chief Software Architect at Storware, so my background is virtualization infrastructure. I'm not a sporty guy. I'm not that fit. Anyway, our today's topic is let's say in my area of interest as well. So let's start maybe with a simple question, because I've been doing some scripts for a long time with Pythons, with shell scripts, and with other tools. Why Ansible?
Why Ansible? Okay, I hope we're gonna answer that question today, and I hope you will enjoy this technology if you are not familiar with this yet. So there are like three main features, I would say, like pillars for Ansible. First of all, it's agentless. So you do not need to install anything on your remote host. You just install Ansible and start your automation. That's really simple. And Ansible is really simple one. So that's why probably you will never, maybe not never, but you will likely switch to Ansible rather than go to your scripting exercises, I would say, because with Ansible, you've got like a lot of collections, like a very, very big collection of predefined modules. So basically, everyone can be really successful in Ansible story. You don't need to be a programmer. You don't need to know Python to start your Ansible journey and to be very successful with automation on this level. And so that's why I encourage you to start with this technology, and hope you will see it very helpful.
Okay, so you have set modules, so you can automate basically everything. So if you could maybe bring up a few examples.
With modules or with other technologies?
Other technologies
Okay.
In general,
So
right?
I've got predefined slide for that.
Of course.
So with Ansible is actually really simple answer for that kind of question. What you can do with Ansible is basically almost everything. So when you think about your IT infrastructure, you will find Ansible almost everywhere. I mean, you will be able to do the automation with operating systems like Windows, Linux systems, with virtual platforms, cloud platforms, various different things like networking stuff. Yes, this is really huge topic in Ansible right now. So whenever you think about automation, your Cisco switches or different vendors, this is very very nice to have. I mean, Ansible is capable of doing that. Really nice working area here right now is security automation. So it's basically a combination of different areas together, like networking.
So making sure that you have appropriate patches, for instance.
This is also one of them, but let's imagine that you've got like a different islands for security, meaning like some systems are responsible for catching the event coming from your, for example, firewall. Some systems are responsible for applying the changes, but there is a really lack of glue between it.
Okay,
so when you catch
infrastructure as a code, but to actually integrate few configurations of few systems together. Well, it's cool. Actually, you have mentioned Cisco, and I remember that one of the requirements for Ansible is Python on the remote host.
Yes.
So what about Cisco?
What about networking? Okay.
Yeah, basically like Cisco
So
or whatever.
there are different ways how Ansible operate or how Ansible connects to endpoints. When you talk about standard, like a first approach, which we're going to demonstrate today, it's about operating system. Yeah? So with operating system, it's, as you said, mostly Python. Of course, when we are talking about Windows, there is no Python story there. It's PowerShell. So we're going to use PowerShell there, and of course not SSH, but it might change someday, maybe.
Like WinRM?
WinRM, yes. This is right now still working and supported way to connect to Windows. But if we can come back to Cisco, and the whole network story is about different connection plugins. So we've got something like netconf, netcli, HTTP API, which are, here in this network area, and which Ansible can handle, can use to connect to the remote device.
Proxy host, like something like this, right?
No, we just use another methodology. We of course needs a Python. Everything is around Python here. But we're gonna run the playbook mostly, for example, when it comes to API calls. So if you try to, let's say, automate your F5 devices or Ref or OpenStack, most of the time you're gonna talk to the specific API.
So my command host will basically invoke APIs instead of Python.
Exactly.
Over SSH.
And this is the same for network. Netconf, netcli commands will go through the.
In general, maybe let's go back one step and describe how it works in general.
Okay. Let's get started then. So it's really simple. Maybe the slide is not the simplest one, but this is it. You just need an Ansible automation engine, which is called sometimes Ansible Core, sometimes Ansible Base, sometimes just Ansible. So this is what you need, and inside you will find I would like to say still a lot of modules, plugins, all the things which you need to get started. So this is first one. So we will start from the demo perspective, from the installation of Ansible and how you can handle that. Then, of course, there are some satellites around it. So you need your inventory, which is basically a list of hosts. Basically, as you can put inside an inventory variables and various different things, but it's basically a list of hosts. And you can take this inventory. You can set up a manual inventory, which we're gonna do it. But most of the time in the enterprise, you're gonna work with dynamic ones. So you're gonna fetch your inventory or feed your inventory with entries coming from some systems like
listing instances on Amazon, for instance,
something
right?
like that. Yes. And then if you have inventory, if you have engine installed, you just need a playbook basically to get started. You can have like an ad hoc command, which I will show you today, how to start one command and do something. But also we'll show you how to prepare very simple playbook for today, and that's gonna be it.
Okay, so how would you install Ansible then?
All right, let's take a look. So here I will point out some new thing which comes with version 2.10, but it's not the one right now on the Red Hat side. So with Red Hat, we are still on the 2.9 version of Ansible engine. With community, if you would like to go with pure community, you are able to install 2.10 easily. So basically, it depends on which system. Here we've got Red Hat flavors, I would say, of different Linux systems. It's of course RHEL 7, RHEL 8, CentOS, Fedora. Basically, on RHEL you need additional repository because Ansible is not in the main one, in the server one, and just simple DNF or yum install, and that's it.
Okay, and what about other platforms? We already mentioned Windows, but
Okay.
maybe there are some requirements.
Mac OS is of course also supported. If you would like to install it on any other Linux systems like Debian, Ubuntu, even BSD, which is not the Linux, but around it, it's also possible. You can find a lot of different scenarios on Ansible documentation on Ansible.com.
For most, I guess it's pip install.
Yes.
For specific Python.
Yeah, this will work, and I will show you today on Fedora, but I would like to demonstrate to you what is the difference between installing Ansible version 2.9 and below, and 2.10, which is the newest one from the community side.
Perfect. So let's go on. So this is the inventory, right?
Yeah. So here we've got an inventory. And inventory, as I said, is a list of hosts. Here I've got like a mixture of IP addresses and names. So we can have like a fully qualified or resolvable, I would say, name of your hosts. You can specify IP addresses. You can specify some kind of, you can have a kind of hybrid approach. So if you use names which are meaningful for you, but they are not resolvable, and you would like to have in a log like meaningful names, not necessarily IP addresses or very, very long DNS names, which is kind of common way in cloud providers, for example. Yes, if you deal with cloud instances, they will have like a kind of strong names, I would say. So then you can specify Ansible _host, and then specify IP address or another DNS name. So there are a lot of different ways to compose your inventory, and for sure this is one of the main topics, I would say, in Ansible. So if you would like to be really good at automation and really strict when you start your automation on the specific hosts, then inventory is coming into play. Yeah? So that's.
Okay, so you have mentioned about variables, but I don't see them here.
Yeah, I didn't put it.
You can technically assign them per host globally.
Yeah, this is really nice story because you got officially 16 different places to put variables in Ansible.
Doesn't sound simple.
Doesn't sound simple.
When I first actually noticed that in the documentation, I said that I will not ever remember which one is
of course and
the highest priority.
Or the main thing is that this is not the goal to use every single place. Yes, this is not like a race to if I use 16, then I win. Yes, so it's not like that. You basically use your variables in Ansible where depends on the use case. So, example, if you need, for example, start your automation on different hosts and you would like to differentiate them based on, let's say, data center. So you've got a DC1, DC2. So you can set up in your inventory 2 different groups, DC1, DC2, and place your systems accordingly. And then also specify something called group variables. Yeah? So the specific variables for the specific group, and say like DNS for DC1 will have this IP address X, let's say, and DNS, the same name of the variable for DC2, will have IP address Y. Yeah? So then you just have one playbook. You start your one playbook on different groups and get different outcome. Yes, different configuration because your variables are are the same but have different values.
Okay, now I guess you should show us something, right?
Okay.
So let's do the demo.
Okay. So what we're gonna do, as I said, I would like to show you how to install Ansible, which is, as you saw, a very simple one. I didn't mention Windows. Windows is actually not supported.
Not supported.
Not support. I mean, there is a way to do that with Windows Linux subsystem or something, VLS or something like that, where you can start your Linux machine or Linux shell inside Windows machine, and you can install Ansible there easily, and it will work for sure. I've tested this on my my wife's laptop, and
it's perfectly fine. But what about
fine.
Official Red Hat support in that matter?
No, it's not
not.
going to be supported, and of course, even community will not support that too much. Yes, so it's your experiment, I would say.
Okay.
But then the rest is of course available. What are we gonna do next? We're gonna set up a little bit our Ansible environment. So I will show you how to deal with Ansible CFG, how to deal with. I will explain what's that with inventory, custom inventory, because I didn't mention where the default inventory is located. So I will show you that. Then start some ad hoc command based on what we configured, just to demonstrate you that you don't need necessarily write a playbook. If you would like to start some really simple task, let's say like a one module and some parameters, you can do it easily with an ad hoc command. Then we will proceed with playbook. Hopefully it will work. And as it's a totally live demo without any, hacks, there are two systems. That's it. So keep your finger crossed. And the last one, which I would like to mention, is something new in Ansible. I mean, it's not new already. It's like a year something already mentioned, but new in version 2.10. And 2.9 also a little bit, but let's keep it simple. Ansible collections. So basically, in few words, a new methodology, new way to deliver Ansible content. Content means modules, plugins, and so on.
Similar to the Ansible Galaxy, or?
Yeah, the Ansible Galaxy is a key player here.
Okay, so it's a part of collection.
It's a part. I mean, you can put a collection or collections there. It's like a collection repository for you.
Because in Galaxy you have only roles.
It used to be like that. Right now, the new thing is you will put everything into Ansible collection. There is a special naming convention for your collections. So you've got like a start from your namespace. So for example, for me, it could be like a Jacek .my collection. So let's say like Ansible, and then I've got different modules, different plugins which I can call. Yes. So if you right now try to find out on the web some kind of module which you will probably use in the future, or right now you are developing your Ansible playbook, you will see this notation right now in place. Yes. So this is because we changed the way how we deliver content to Ansible.
Okay.
So let's get started. So let me present my screen. What do we have here? I've got two different machines. So one and this one is a RHEL machine, and this one is a Fedora machine. So let's get started from the RHEL machine. As I said, we need to add a specific repository. So let me show you repo list, what we have here. I hope it's going to be fast enough. Yes, it's fast enough. So as you can see here, let me make it a little bit bigger. We've got a standard base OS, upstreams here, and also connected Ansible engine. And so as I said, it's a separate repository which you need to turn on if it's not yet there. So what we need to do here is just install. So DNF install Ansible. Yeah, and this will do the job, I hope. As you can see, it's a live one. Yeah, we've got quite a lot to install, but this is because this rel is a minimal installation. So I install it with just a minimal number of packages. But if you can see, Ansible is like a 17 max, so it's not like a huge one. It's a quite compact one. So let me put some yeses here, as this is a freshly installed system, and that should be it for rel system. So let me show you a way how to install 2.10. And with 2.10 is a little bit different story. I will go with a pip installation methodology.
Is it now the only way, or
no?
Why is it preferable in this case?
Why? Because I will show you how actually the pip installs Ansible and what kind of packages it installs. Yes, it's a good way to just demonstrate it.
Okay.
Let me start it. Pip install on my user, and let's say Ansible. So we are used to install just one package for Ansible, which is a little bit different story right now with 2.10. So with 2.10, you will see soon, I hope, that the Ansible needs right now actually two packages. Actually, the one is mandatory and the second one is optional. So let me show you this soon. Here you've got this Ansible base. So the Ansible base right now is an engine with just a tiny little list of core modules and plugins. It's like a 300 something. Yes, so it's a little collection of modules here, those which are mandatory to just to work with Linux basically. And then we've got another one which is called just Ansible, and this one is all about collections, plugins, generally speaking, content. So to have a backward compatibility, I mean that you don't need to change anything in your previous playbooks to be able to run on 2.10 basically. You need this the other one just to make sure you've got all the needed collections which you know from the previous.
So some of them have been just moved to the separate package.
Yes,
But
most
you
of them.
Typed Ansible, so basically I believe that Ansible has a dependency Ansible base.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So Ansible is just actually Ansible base and this Ansible module.
And is it going to have the same two packages on a regular Linux installation like with 2.10? Will I see it as two separate RPMs?
I mean, it's probably, I can speak for Red Hat. Yeah. So we did not decide it yet how it's going to be distributed. Probably yes, because we need to deliver this backward compatibility. But in the future, you will likely find out. This is, of course, my kind of guessing, because I'm not the one who do this or do this job, but this is something which you will likely find out, that there will be Ansible base as a one, and then all the dependencies, meaning like all your collections which are needed to be started, you will add on your own or compose a predefined container image, for example, with all the dependencies. So Ansible base as a engine, and all the collections which are needed and dedicated, maybe just for networking, or dedicated for Linux, or dedicated for Windows. Yes? So
will there be like two versions of Ansible, one for community and one for Red Hat, or is it going to have the same set of modules and functionality?
It's gonna be, I mean, still Ansible base and the engine, because I can speak for engine, because this is something which we deliver as a Red Hat and our community does. This will be the same.
Okay.
But from the perspective of the content, content is delivered by different entities, different developers, different.
No, I'm just saying only about the Red Hat
base. Yeah.
Okay.
Will remain. So, okay, we've got two different Ansibles. Ansible version will show us this one, and Ansible version should show us something like that. Yeah, so here we've got 2.10, here we've got 2.9, and I will start on this one. So what else we need to do? Let me just exit from here and start to be like Ansible user, proper one. So what I would like to do is to create a specific folder, just a folder. Let's say my playbook. So cd, here I am. What I would like to show you how to customize your Ansible a little bit. So by default, Ansible will have an inventory in etc Ansible hosts. So if you do not specify anything, this is your default inventory, default host list, which here is actually empty. And so you've got like a pretty nice example how to use your Ansible and different things here. But I encourage you to start your own. So we're gonna do it right now. Let's say my inventory. So what I'm going to put here is my two names. I already configured host files on both, so should be okay to use just the names. And I will create two different groups. So let me do it like that. rel, which is going to be our local host, Ansible rel. And the second one is going to be Fedora, and it's going to be Ansible Fedora. All right, so we've got our inventory, but how to make it work in Ansible with Ansible? So basically, if you do not, stay with defaults, you need to say, okay, dear Ansible, here is your inventory, and specify inventory file. So -e and your inventory file, but you can do it a little bit smarter. So, in my opinion, of course. So let's make it work. Let's create an additional Ansible CFG file, or let me show you the default one, etc Ansible Ansible CFG. This is the configuration file. So you can find here a lot of different settings from the Ansible perspective. What is the default, let's say, connection method, if it's SSH or WinRM, where to store collections, where to store different modules, and so on and so forth. But we're gonna create the defaults for us. And the cool thing about Ansible is that we do not need to recreate a file from scratch. We can just specify Ansible CFG in our current working directory and specify some defaults which we would like to overwrite. So I can say inventory, and my inventory, if I don't miss anything, not this one, will be my inventory, right? So if I go to Ansible and say Ansible host list, let me specify the help. It's gonna be list host or something, list host, yeah. So this one should show us every single endpoint which is currently in my working inventory, which I just specified. So let's do it. Ansible list host. There is something missing, which I don't know right now.
Ansible inventory list hosts.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so did some mistake in my Ansible inventory, Ansible CFG. This is what we've got here. So let me see if inventory should work like that. All right, and inventory is rel, and this should be okay. It was working last time.
Live demo.
Yeah. Couldn't match.
Ignoring inventory.
Okay. Let me.
Is Ansible inventory? It's a one command, I guess. There was a dedicated command for.
No, should be something like that. Ansible. Oh yeah, here it is.
Oh, okay.
So it was my fault. You need to specify what kind of if all inventory needs to be taken into account, or just a group, or just we can specify, for example, here a group like rel.
So it is a target. Basically.
Yeah, it's a target, and then it will show us that just a rel, Ansible rel, the same for Fedora. So our rel and Fedora are just two different groups.
Okay.
All right, Fedora. Yeah. All right. So we've got a working Ansible CFG. So we do not need to point to our inventory every time we start our playbook. So what we can do here, as simple as it is, Ansible all minus module. So I just want to specify a module ping. Let's try. Yeah, it's working.
And it is not a regular ping.
It's not a regular ping. Yeah, it's a Python ping.
It's a Python ping.
Yeah. So you should expect it as a one which is actually doing a pong, because it's a Python script which is going to be copied to the target machine, and then just did a information back.
But just to remind everyone, the host where you have installed this Ansible is a command host, right? And you are reaching to remote hosts.
Yes, and also to myself, to the local host. So my rel host is the local host.
Okay, rel host is the one on which we are actually
have Ansible.
And Fedora is the remote one.
Is the remote one?
Is it the one with the 2.10 install?
2.10, yes. But this is not needed there, of course. I just did the installation just to demonstrate you different scenarios of installation. So this is one of the questions that we have in our Q&A, is why you have installed two versions of Ansible. But technically, if I'm correct, you would install just Python on the other host. Yeah.
And what about the SSH access?
Yeah, this is, so let me uninstall it if it's gonna be easy enough. So SSH access, I already set up, exchange SSH keys between two of them.
So that was one of the steps that you have done.
Yeah, I've done this before. So just to be clear, minimal installation of both, and then what I did also is the exchange SSH keys, just to make sure I'm able to connect to each other on the Ansible user. So I use Ansible user as a default one. And what else I did? I just registered the rel machine, and that's it, basically.
Okay.
Right. So I uninstalled the.
Will it still work?
Yeah, let's see. Still working. Okay. So we've got here a deprecation warning, and this is because by default on my Fedora I use a Python 2 interpreter. Yes, so this is something which will not prevent us from doing the job, but it will just give us a warning. At some point, this is not going to be supported or will be deprecated. Just take a look at it. Yeah. So what we can do here, just not to annoy us too much, we can make our defaults for Ansible CFG a little bit more complex and add this one. Yeah? So I will just leave this deprecation for someone else.
Or you can actually also point to the different interpreter, right?
Yes, also I can also do that. So right now we've got nothing like that. Okay, so this is the example of ad hoc command. Basically, you can have a different module, right? Like YAM or DNF or what else you can find, firewall D, whatever, and place here some parameters. So another one will be -a and a list of parameters, and you're free to go.
I guess module command, right? Would be
Module command is like it's like passing the command, a command to the remote system or remote systems. All right, so maybe let's do the playbook right now, because we are short in time. So let's make it work. Let's create a playbook, or first playbook. Almost there. Playbook.yaml, and let's get started. So what we need here is always please stick to the names. Yeah? So it's a good practice. It's not mandatory, but if you do the names, it's basically like a
it's more readable.
It's for readable to make our output more clear, more readable.
What is happening? Right
yeah,
now.
what's happening there. Okay, so it's going to be our first playbook. Then we need to specify hosts, and we're going to target remote one. So I can specify a host or just a group. Yeah, let me do it with a group. Fedora. Then what I would like to do also, just to speed up a little bit, I will get rid of gathering facts. And facts are the set of information about our remote systems. So if Ansible by default gathers facts from the remote systems, and it's sometimes we use this to put some parameters into the playbook, but for now and for this one we don't need them, so I will turn it off. Gather facts, no. What else? Yeah, I would like to say become means like my Ansible user is a standard user. So I will Ansible will connect to my remote host with Ansible user, but it's a standard user. It cannot handle by default things like running installations or something like that. So you need to elevate your privileges. So for that, default is sudo, and I will use sudo for it. Yeah. So become equals true, yes. Let's say yes. Okay. So this means my Ansible will be able to start sudo on the specific user. Okay, let's go to tasks. So let's define something, starting from name always. It's a good practice. It's going to be install package. And I'm not going to be really, I'm just going to go with, let's say, HTTPD, which is almost on every single Ansible demo, but it's nice. So let's use YAM, or we can use DNF module. Name, it's HTTPD. It's gonna be state present. Okay, so what it's gonna do, it's gonna install HTTPD package and it's gonna be present. If I put it absent, then it will uninstall HTTPD package.
It's actually worth to mention in this moment that basically Ansible invokes these commands only if necessary, because
Yes.
it brings to the certain state instead, so we don't have to write install something, but make sure that it is present.
Yes.
Do whatever it is needed in
It's
order
a
to
very
make it
good
install.
point. It's a very good point because it's a desired state configuration methodology. Yeah? So you specify here how you would like your systems look after this playbook will run. Yeah? So and why we care about modules so much, modules in general, because most of them, almost all of them, are idempotent. What does it mean? It means that you can use them many times, and module will do the job only when there is a need to do that. So if I install right now on my vanilla Fedora HTTPD, it will probably install it because there is no HTTPD right now. We can check it. Let me check it. That's strange. Should not be. So let me uninstall it.
Well, you can say, make sure with the playbook that it is absent. Right now.
Yeah. That's a good one. I like it.
The message will be slightly misleading, but okay.
Yep. So let's start the playbook. Ansible playbook. My playbook. So first, and what I need to do here is to pass my sudo password, because I didn't configure this as a passwordless, let's say. So let me put it in capital K, I think. This is gonna be like that. Yes, this is become password. And let's see. So the message will be a little bit misleading, but it will actually uninstall our package. So it already did something. Yes, so we've got this color scheme, like when it's green, it doesn't. I mean, it checks. When it's orange or something like around it, it does the job. Yeah. So we do not have it. Let me start this with, so as we are short in time, let me carry on with the rest of the modules. So what else we need to do? I would like to copy my index.html just to make sure it does something. So content or web content, and I'm going to use copy module for that. So let me put it here, source src. It's going to be my index HTML, and my destination, it's going to be var www.html. All right, and what else I need? Of course, I need to create this this little one, but let me take care of this later on. What else I need? I need to start my, or no, I need to configure my firewall. So firewall config, and I will use for that firewall D module. Firewall D module, and because no one knows every single module and every single module parameter, let me show you how to really quickly search for it. So Ansible firewall D module. So here you've got this module, and here are some parameters which you can pass to the module. And here are a lot of different examples for that. So most of the time you don't need to figure it out how to create this or that rule. You just need to copy something, and I'm gonna do it right now. So let me paste it here. I will change from HTTPS to HTTP. All right. All right.
There are some sort of namespaces like Ansible POSIX Firewall D. Is it something which came up recently?
This is the collection stuff. Yes. So
Okay.
you've got this collection, I mean, namespace Ansible, collection POSIX, and the module Firewall D.
And if I want to import maybe something like it is in other programming languages that I can import set of
You can like
namespaces?
libraries. Yes.
Like libraries.
You're gonna import those like libraries. You specify requirements file, and then you do it from Galaxy by default.
Okay,
Yes.
and if it's like in your case, you have typed in Firewall D, and it by default it probably resolves to Ansible POSIX.
Yes, because with 2.9 I already have those inside. With 2.10 also with this Ansible package, which we installed. Yes, we installed Ansible base, which is just an engine, and Ansible as a content collections. Yes, so it's gonna be backward compatible, but you need to know that this is actually the right way of doing playbooks right now.
Okay.
It's a long naming convention. So yes, immediate, just make sure our configuration will be loaded immediately. Name, let's start the service. So service start, almost there, start. And I'm going to use for this service module. Service module, then name is going to be HTTPD and state started. I can set enable there, many various things. I hope I did not do any mistake. So let me create my index, HTML, and here is our OVP webinar first playbook. It's going to be simple as it is. So let's get started and let's start our playbook. So here we should have no HTTPD as it is. Let's run it again. Right. So it's gonna install HTTPD soon, and then proceed with the rest of the playbook. Right. So as you can see, all tasks are changed in the status change. So let's see if it is working. Curl HTTP and my Fedora, Ansible Fedora. Voila, it's working. Yeah. So we've got like a really nice and simple, of course, Ansible playbook. So the last thing, we talked about the collections. So here you've got two different ways of taking the collection or downloading the collection. So collections are, as I said, modules, roles, plugins. So Galaxy is not anymore a role repository, it's a collection repository. So you've got this namespace Ansible, and in the Ansible namespace, you've got Ansible Galaxy collection, netcommon, POSIX, something like that. Yeah. So we've got also something like Ansible Ansible demos, which should be here somewhere, I hope.
Or
okay.
vProtect.
Or vProtect, yeah.
We are also
the other way of grabbing collections is Automation Hub, Red Hat Ansible Automation Hub, which is part of our subscription. And here you've got the access to all the collections which are supported and certified by Red Hat and our partners. And as you can see, there are like 76 different collections right now. Different partners are involved in this. So, for example, here we've got a satellite collection, Red Hat Satellite. I hope you know this. If you would like to automate it with Ansible, you've got a collection for that, different modules, different plugins, and so on. So let me show you how to start the or how to grab the collection. So if we go to this POSIX collection, or maybe this one will be faster, product demo, you can see that there is a specific command to grab the collection, and we can grab it here. Right, so it will put it into the our home directory. So home Ansible collections, Ansible collections, and there will be like a product demo there. Yeah, so you will find it there. We can also specify where to, if we would like to have a different place where to put it. So let me show you how to do it. Ansible CFG. So here, let me content. Collections. And it could be like here, collections. A folder with collection. Let me check if I did not make any mistake here. I think collection path. Okay. So yeah. So it's going to be collection path, and then it will create a folder, and it will put this every single collection which we start from this Ansible there. But the good thing is that we can specify, if we have like a number of different collections, we can specify a requirements file, YAML file actually, and specify different collections. So let me do it right now. So .yaml, right, and of course 3 dashes, and here I can have a list of different collections, and
maybe
by
paste from
yeah, I will do it. I will do it from here. So I can have like POSIX. So if we are here, I can specify just this one. Okay, Ansible POSIX. This one, and maybe some other one, this product demo, which is also the one which we already created somewhere else. So Ansible product demos. All right, and specify Ansible Galaxy collection install -r and our requirements. Yeah. Yeah, correct. So here it is. And now it will download our collections to the specific folder, and we can also call them from there, or not. No, I just made some mistake, but it should do that like this. So probably mkdir collection, and try to make it once again. Or maybe I did something wrong with Ansible CFG collection path.
collections S. S underscore path.
Yep. No, we don't. We are not gonna make it work. I've got in my notes. Yeah, another S.
Another S.
Yeah.
So we can specify multiple collection paths.
Multiple collection paths, and we can specify different places. Yes? So you can specify Ansible Galaxy. You can specify Automation Hub. You can also have a grab the collections from the tarball from GitHub, for example, or install your internal Ansible Automation Hub. It's also available, and synchronize different collections there and use it as a repository for different collections.
Can I also use my internal Git?
You can use it. Yes.
Okay.
You can use it. Of course.
No, okay.
Now it should work. Hopefully. Yeah, it's working. Okay. Okay, so guys, that's gonna be it, I think, for the demo.
Yeah, so let's maybe do some QA session, because we have already answered one of your questions about these two versions that we have seen here. It was just to show you different ways to install Ansible. Now the question, why to choose Ansible instead of other solutions like Terraform? Because we have discussed scripts, but maybe focus on the other solutions.
So it's a very good question, because there are some solutions which are dedicated for some certain areas, let's say, of use. And Terraform, I don't want to say that is you should go with Ansible everywhere. Of course, Ansible can handle most of the tasks, but Terraform is really good right now at the cloud provisioning stuff and something like that. Yeah. So if you feel that it fits for you, you can use this.
You have modules for
AWS.
AWS.
We've got modules, of course. We've got modules for AWS. We've got modules for Microsoft Azure and Google, and most of the major cloud providers. It's it's like a, I don't want to say it's political discussion. It's more like if you would like to have like one solution for everything, then go with Ansible. If you would like to spread across different domains and have like a solution for, let's say, creating and provisioning stuff only, then probably Terraform will be better. I think so. But then at some point you need to parameterize your endpoints. Yes. So if you need to do some configuration changes on your endpoints, then you will use Ansible for sure for that. Yes, because Terraform is not capable of doing that, or it's not as good as Ansible is.
Okay. Any other questions? Maybe you can have the question. You can use the questions tab so that you can ask questions now.
And one more thing is when around between Terraform and Ansible comparison, if I may still have some time, so and no questions. So the Terraform is really good in greenfields. So if you have like a new installation, then Terraform is really good to handle that. But when it comes to the brownfield scenario where you've got already something in place and you would like to manage that also, then Ansible will come in and do the job easily.
Okay, so another advantage. Now we have question. What are the plans for future of Ansible? What can be improved from Red Hat perspective? Yeah,
so there are clear plans. We are building a platform. So it's not only about Ansible engine anymore. It's not only about Ansible Tower anymore. It's about the platform. So we already delivered a few additional tools like Automation Hub. This is the one. The other one is Automation Service Catalog. So you can specify nice looking automation catalog where your clients, your colleagues can came in and choose what they want to choose, and then Ansible underneath will do the job. Then also there is Ansible Analytics. So from the perspective of enterprise, you've got the clear view of your whole automation world in your company. And we are also working on different things like provide some kind of IDE, I would say, something like that. It's not yet released, even in beta. So with all the tools in place in one I don't know, tool or one
Is
solution.
it going to be Eclipse based maybe, or is it going to be something?
Probably code ready.
Okay, because I was really looking for some specific tool. I've been using IntelliJ for many of these aspects, but
yeah.
still,
There are a lot of tools there. I personally use Visual Studio Code for that, and all the different extensions which are available for Ansible, for example. But for years, I used to use Atom for that also, which is another great one. But we aim for something more. We aim for integrated linter, for a molecule, for the testing roles, mechanism, and so on. Yeah, so we are trying to put all those tools which are already on the market in a community and make it work as a one system, or we still don't know how to name it, but it's going to be something like that. So
you're going to have okay, but you have
like
said
IDE for Ansible, something like that.
IDE is one thing, but the platform, you mean this IDE or some SaaS offering?
I mean SaaS offering, on-prem offering, which will be like a complementary offering, like a full offer for Ansible needs. Yes, so if you need to really use Ansible in enterprise, you will have all the toolings, all the tools which are needed for your company to work
so
with.
Tower will be a part of it, or
yes, Tower actually is a part of it already. Yeah,
it's the core.
It's a core. It's a place where all the SaaS tools are calling, or it's grabbing something from the SaaS tools and on-prem tools also. But the main thing is to bring the value as a platform. So that's why we put a lot of effort to show you this collection stuff and work with partners to make it, certified, to make it supported, to make it easier for you to consume, for your consumption, basically. Yeah. So that's the idea.
Okay. Are there any other questions?
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy. How can I store passwords in Ansible? Okay,
so it's a very good question. I mean, it depends. And there is, of course, a great answer for that, Ansible Tower. But if you do not use Ansible Tower, then you can store your password in CyberArk, HashiCorp Vault, and different credential stores. We've got quite good collection of lockup plugins. So for you who are not familiar with this, take a look at it, and you can easily integrate with your enterprise grade password stores right now. But the most common and I would say most popular way is to use Ansible Vault. So whenever you need to store some sensitive data, it does not need to be necessarily a password. It can be a username. It can be even IP address or whatever you don't want to be like in a clear text on your GitHub, for example, account. Then Ansible Vault is the one where you will store your credentials, your secrets, basically.
Okay, another one. Can Ansible use in Docker container? So I believe the question is if you can use Ansible inside the Docker container.
Yeah, and that's actually a feature of Ansible. So the one which I just present to you, the VM-based solution, which I just installed Ansible as a piece of software and run some commands there. This also stay with us, but the main thing is that we will produce container images for which are going to be Docker compatible. Yeah. So because we use Podman at Red Hat, yes, which is Docker compatible one, and it's gonna have Ansible base inside and different collections inside. Yes. So imagine that right now you are doing your automation across different Linux systems. So you basically need some collections, core collections, and some other collections, but related to Linux. You don't need to have like 4,000 different collections for or modules for network, for VMware, Red Hat, virtualization, and other stuff. So that's going to be like a specific environment for your needs, with a engine and different collections inside Docker container.
Okay, but I believe the question is slightly maybe different. If I want to create one new user for all 300 Linux servers, is it possible? I would actually answer for that if you're using containers, probably you should not do that like this way, because containers should be immutable as far as the configuration.
But if you would like to spread such a configuration on different machines, like VMs or something like that, like create a user on different, I know, 100 Linux systems, one user, you can use that,
address a group, right?
Address a group,
user
address
module.
your inventory, how you or different groups. You can also specify different many groups inside host.
You could actually probably address containers in a different manner, right? Like spawning several instances of these containers using Ansible.
Yes, that's
rather not
actually
managing the container state, because they are typically stateless. Okay. At least for now, that's it. If you have any other questions, just drop us either email or via LinkedIn. And thank you for today's webinar. I guess that's another one. How to connect Ansible with other machines via SSH key. Okay, but this is not the question related to the Ansible itself. It is just the question to the SSH itself. So
SSH copy ID.
SSH copy ID, plain command. So it's not related to the Ansible completely.
This is the command. Yes, SSH copy ID. And
how to automate the Ansible playbooks? Another question. Well, what do you mean by automating the Ansible playbooks? Because playbooks themselves are the essential thing of the Ansible.
You can automate Ansible via Ansible. So, for example, if you have Ansible Tower, we've got specific modules to automate tower configuration.
That sounds legitimate. But automating the Ansible playbooks. So Tower would be the place to manage these playbooks, like the central repository. Okay, so now I believe that's everything. Okay. So thank you for today's session. So we are in touch. So stay tuned.
Thanks.